The reinvention of daily life means marching off the edge of our maps. The secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. On this very note, namaste and good evening to all the partakers today. I see Ashita Shah extend a very warm convivial welcome to the dignitaries on today's session on professional opportunities in cooperatives and RERA under the aegis of Women and Young Members Excellence Committee chaired by our dynamic chairperson CA Preeti Savla Madam. RERA is often called the rock solid foundation for every dream home transaction. RERA seeks to bring clarity and fair practices that would protect the interest of buyers and also impose penalties on errant builders. Today, we have with us a very prolific speaker to throw light on the subject, CA Shilpa Shinagre. I request my co-coordinator, CA Binal Gala, to kindly introduce the speaker. Over to you, Binal ma'am.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Today, I am happy to take this opportunity to introduce Advocate CA Shilpa Shinagre, who is our honorable speaker for today. So, Advocate CA Shilpa Shinagre is Chartered Accountant and Advocate at Bombay High Court. She is Regional Member of WIRC and past Treasurer of ICAI for the year 2016 and 17. She is president of We Indus Societies Welfare Association, an association for the cooperative societies at all India level. She contributed and headed a chairperson of Cooperative Committee of Maharashtra and Gujarat at WIRC for a consecutive period of 3 years. She is past member of Rotary Club of Lokhandwala Kandivali since 2008. She is member of All India Federation of Tax Practitioners. She is technical director on board of Varna Sahkari Limited, Kolhapur, and Varna Group with 40 branches in Maharashtra. She is member of Housing Chapter Committee of Cooperative constituted in February 2017 to draft the act related to housing societies, amending the existing provisions of MCS Act 1960. She is member of committee constituted recently by Maharashtra State Cooperative Election Authority for giving suggestions on 100% elections in cooperatives. She is member of Website Development Committee of Divisional Joint Registrar of Department of Corporation. She has practiced as CA for last 20 years in the field of audit and taxation with bank audits and housing and multi-state cooperative registration societies, registrations, handover and takeover from builder, conveyance, redevelopment, consultancy, then cooperative compliance advisory and litigation service on as specialization. She is practicing into RERA registration, compliances, and litigation matters up to appellate tribunal. She is practicing advocate of Bombay High Court, City Civil Court, Consumer Court, Cooperative Court with cooperatives and real estate as domain field. She is interviewed on various channels like DD, Sayadri, Z, 24 Stars, CNBC Awaaz for topics related to cooperatives and RERA. She believes in spreading knowledge and being resource person for all CAs for this cooperative issues and dreams to make the cooperative as a glamorous field for practice. And she is author of 2 ebooks called Audit of Cooperative Societies and Taxation of Cooperative Societies. She is author and compiler of Housing Reference Manual for CCONOP NPO Committee of ICAI. I'm so sorry, CCONPO Committee of ICAI. She delivers lectures on various topics related to cooperative housing society like model bylaws, accounts and audit provisions of MCS Act, election rules, mandatory returns under MCS Act 1960, conveyance and deemed conveyance, redevelopment of societies, etc. at CA study circles, branches, and various housing conferences and seminars organized by industry associations like Rotary Club, ICSI federations, and other NGOs. She moderates the Google group of CAs and panel auditors and updates the members on the latest information for cooperatives and other professional interests. She can be watched on her YouTube channel called Sahkar Vishwa for various housing, society, and RERA related educational videos. And also, we all can reach Advocate CA Shilpa at advshinagare@gmail.com or ssca28@rediffmail.com. And also, she can be followed for cooperative and RERA updates on CA Shilpa Shinagare real coopinfo.blogspot.com. So I would like to now hand over the session to our honorable speaker. Ma'am, please take it over.
Yeah, a very happy afternoon to all the participants. Thank you, Peenal, for that wonderful, introduction. You have read the entire profile. I did not interrupt because it's like, I myself am getting introduced to myself, like, oh, itna kar diya hai, yeah, I need to do something, that's not sufficient. Yeah. So thanks for going through the entire profile. And before I
Yes.
start, let me sincerely thank the chair and vice chair of WIMEC for giving me this wonderful opportunity to connect with you all. I can see the number. I think it's only in-house team which is there, and that is what the pathetic scene I would say about the cooperatives. So my job would be, but nevertheless, we are used to it. We know since this particular topic or this particular sector, cooperatives and RERA, it's being ignored by the CAs, I would say. And today I will try to attempt, that this seminar or this webinar, that there is no PPT, but I will try to expose you people to the world of cooperatives first. Then I will, unfold all the opportunities in cooperatives and RERA. So we should know what is that we have to explore, which is unexplored. And I think that is what is expected out of this webinar, right? So uh, just to start, let me give you a little bit of background about the cooperatives. I hope I can keep my video off if you don't mind, or it's like I need to keep my video on. Yeah, video should be on.
Yes, ma'am, you are visible on YouTube
Webinar.
channel
Yeah.
as well.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So cooperatives, as everybody knows, because all of us, we do stay in, societies, complexes, towers, townships. So that means we are staying in a cooperative society. One must be from, from Maharashtra, maybe from Delhi, maybe from Gujarat, wherever you are. This cooperative is something which is, it's your state subject. When I say state subject, that means each and every state in India, they have got their own cooperative law. And we as a chartered accountant, we play three roles, I would say, as far as the cooperatives are concerned. So the role that is being played is like we are, you are a member of that particular society. If I have to take only housing as one of the society, so you're a member there. You can be, or it's possible that you are a managing committee member, or you are there on the board. So you are a managing committee member also, so you're a functionary or office bearer. And at the same time, you must also be auditing those societies, right? Cooperative societies. So we are playing three roles as far as the cooperatives are concerned. And cooperative is an integral part of everybody's life, whether you are a practitioner, you are a GST expert, or you are in companies law, or you are an insolvency professional, or you are into any other domain field. But your day starts with cooperatives. When we get up, you will like to have tea. So where from that sugar comes, where from that milk comes. So sugar comes from sugar factories which are run on cooperatives. Milk you get from the dairy societies. Amul is the international brand from Gujarat. So we take that milk. then whatever we are wearing, the clothes, that those are coming from the gaining and shipping and spinning mills, those which are run on cooperatives, and whatever, however, transparency or good governance we are talking about, we do want to put money in cooperative banks, because we are getting maybe 50 basis point or 100 basis points there. So I'm there. So in that form also, I'm accustomed, or I'm familiar to the cooperative entity or cooperative environment. If I have to buy something for my domestic use, I'm going to Apna Bazaar or departmental stores. So these are the consumer societies which are governed or run on cooperative principles, right? So cooperative is day in and day out. It is there in my day-to-day activities. Then the question comes, why we as a chartered accountant, we are ignoring this field, right? So to give you background about, or to make you aware, or just to give make you sensitive or sensitize about the cooperatives and RERA and the field which we as a chartered accountant, we are missing, or we are not exploring at all, or we have left it for the other fraternity, like advocates who are literally minting money in this field. Because we as a chartered accountant, we are not there, and this sector is an unorganized sector. And I feel probably after practicing for over 20 plus years in this cooperatives, I feel that the sector really needs people like you and me, who can guide them, we can teach them, we can give a hand holding support to them, and then probably we would see a better future for cooperatives. Now cooperatives per se in India, if you take it's like there is a constitutional validity to the cooperatives. And when I say there is a constitutional validity to the cooperatives, in the sense 97 constitutional amendment that took place in 2011. So now there is part 9b is being inserted in the constitution, and it has given a constitutional status to the cooperatives. So part 9b talks about the cooperatives only in the constitution. Even 43b article is being amended, that is, it talks about the state directive principles, right? So state directive principle means each and every state is advised, they're supposed to ensure that there will be voluntary formations of the cooperative, they are supposed to promote the cooperatives, there will be autonomous functioning of the cooperatives, there will be democratic control, and there will be professional management. So these are some of the mandates which your constitution gives to the cooperatives. And in this constitutional amendment has made formation of the cooperative as my fundamental right. That means if my builder, or if the promoter or the developer from whom I have purchased a flat in a housing society, I'm restricting myself to housing. We can we'll discuss about what are the other types of societies where we can go and we can give the services. So if the developer is not forming the society, so you can very well approach all the authorities. You can approach now post 2017, that is post RERA. Now you can approach RERA, or you can go to your local laws, because the way we have in Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act, MOFA, you have in Gujarat GOFA, in Delhi also you have the Apartment and Ownership Act. So you can go or you can, evoke or all those provisions in your local act, and then you can approach the appropriate forum to get your cooperative societies or your apartment or your condominium form, because that is your fundamental right, I would say, which is being given by the constitutional amendment. And cooperative is a state subject. So when we say state subject, that means each and every state in Maharashtra and in India, we are having the state cooperatives law. So Maharashtra has got Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. Gujarat has got cooperative law. Delhi, Rajasthan, Bihar, every West Bengal, each and every state has got cooperative law. And the constitutional amendment basically, what was the intention? What was the thought process behind doing this constitutional amendment? Is to make a pan-India standardization about the cooperatives. Now, what is cooperative? Cooperatives basically is people come together for common purpose to do some activities of their own, some business activity or any venture on a cooperative basis, so that there will be a common pool of money, there will be a common pool of labor, and whatever profit or whatever surplus is generated, that surplus can be shared within the members. That is what the cooperative is. Now, as I said, it's a state subject. So the moment the constitution got amended, each and every state was given a mandate to amend the local laws. Now, what was the amendment? As I said, amendment like in few states, as I said, it's a state subject. So in some of the states, the board of directors or the elections to the societies, cooperative societies. So cooperative societies, basically it can be a housing society, it can be a cooperative bank, it can be a credit society, it can be a multi-purpose society, it can be a dairy, it can be fishing society, it can be labor societies, it can be a consumer societies. So there are different types of societies. Almost in Maharashtra, you will find almost 50 plus types of cooperative societies are there, and each society category wise they will have their federation, apex federation at the district level and the apex federation at the state level. So that is what the arena where chartered accountant we can take care, or we can be of a help to them as a professionals, taking care of the traditional activities, traditional services, and then giving them the non-traditional services also, or exploring the non-traditional services also in that particular area. So the states were given the mandate, and as I said, there was a pan-India standardization done through this 97 constitutional amendment, because in each state, as I said, there is a cooperative law. So somewhere the managing committee of the cooperative societies, because if 10 people are coming together, so you need someone, few people to guide them. If it's a bank of, let's say, lakhs of members, so we don't expect, or we can't expect that all 1 lakh members are managing or running that bank, that there should be some board, there should be some committee, some representatives of these members who elect these representatives. So in some states, the elections were happening once in 2 years. Some states it was happening once in 3 years. In some states, it was once in 5 years. The AGM, that means each and every cooperative society audits needs to be conducted. Their annual general meeting needs to be conducted. So in few states, the AGM used to happen in June, somewhere in July, somewhere in August, somewhere in September. So there was no standardization as such. There was no uniformity, and with that intention, this 97 constitutional amendment came into picture. And through the 97 constitutional amendment, as I said, there's a pan-India standardization. And now across India, if you see, the term of the managing committee or the board of directors is 5 years. That means each and every state will have elections to the cooperative societies once in 5 years. The 97 constitutional amendment mandates that the election should happen through state cooperative election authority. So each and every states in India, they're having state cooperative election authority of their own, who is conducting the elections through this registrar, who is a regulating authority, right? Professional management is something which is promoted by this 97 constitutional amendment. Professional management means now all the cooperative societies will have to file certain returns, or the compliances, annual compliances, or some quarterly or half yearly compliances with the regulating authorities, that is registrar. So that is being mandated by this 97 constitutional amendment. AGMs across India now are happening on or before 30th September, as I said, because earlier it used to happen on a different days, or June, July, August, whatever. So now across India, the AGMs are happening on or before 30th of September. Even, having reserve category on the board. So this is also a constitutional amendment. Like you will find in Maharashtra, we need minimum 2 women on the board of a cooperative society, and there should be 3 people from the reserve category, that is SC, ST, OBC, and VJNT. So same. This mandate is given by the constitution. Constitution only wants that at least there should be 2 women on the board. So this mandate was given by the constitution, and then all the states were advised that they should align their local cooperative law, and that is how in each state the amendment took place. And accordingly, even in Maharashtra, the amendment took place in 2013, and then there was a post amendment, one more amendment that came, that was in 2019, right? So cooperative is having a constitutional sanctity, and that is how I think it makes sense that we should know. And since it's a state subject, that means the way in our offices we keep all the books, we keep book of income tax act rules, we keep GST act rule, we keep all other laws book in our shelf. But unfortunately, I find that very few chartered accountants who must be practicing in cooperatives, or who are just taking care of the traditional practice of audits and taxation, they must be having the local law or the cooperative book in their office. And this is my sincere advice, that being the state subject, and since we are staying in the cooperative society, being the housing society or the apartment, it makes sense that at least we should buy the copies, and we should be going through, or we should be knowing at least basic provisions about the cooperatives, because litigation is something which is an opportunity which we are going to discuss. And this opportunity, though that will give you money, but primarily there should not be a litigation. And why litigation comes? Because there is no awareness about the provisions. Everybody feels that whatever I have read or whatever I have googled out is my understanding, and that is how the other person or the other party should function, or they should react, and that is how we'll end up in litigation, which is anyway should not be there, because the word is cooperatives, and we should going by that spirit of cooperation, actually it should be we should be staying and living in harmony. But okay, ego is something which is again disturbing this sector. Corruption is something, because whenever I deliver lectures or take online classes, and I ask why you are not taking this field for the practice, so the typical answers that I get is it's not remunerative, I'm not getting audits, there is a lot of litigation, there is a lot of headache, there is groupism in the society, so I don't want to be part of that. And then it's a lot of corruption is there, so it's all these typical answers I get. But still I feel we as a chartered accountant, we are missing on so many things, which I'm going to unfold for you, that this is what I'm doing for last 20 years. Because when I started my practice, I got to means I started getting the work from cooperative housing societies, and that is how I made it as my passion, and then I turned my passion into profession. And that is how I feel this cooperative needs to be taken care by every chartered accountant, and especially women CS. I would say that it is a best launching pad for the women CAs, because when we are practicing, post CA qualification, so we have to balance our personal life and our professional life. So the CA practice will definitely give you a best launching pad, in the sense with minimum investment. You can start your office, and you can start taking initial assignments like accounts writing or audits, or let's say EDDS returns or taxation, which is your traditional practice. So rather than going for a job, leaving your office, your home at 7:30 or 8:30 in the morning, and coming back at 9:30, with 6 hours devotion to your own office towards the cooperative setup, if you have ventured into, I think that will really give you a good amount of money as a fees. And then that will also give you satisfaction, and you can your personal life and professional life can be balanced very well. That is what I feel, and that is how I have developed this practice. And once you start thinking, or start thinking of venturing into it, then you should also understand that you need some skill sets to develop this practice. And the skill sets are like, because when you are handling or dealing with the cooperatives, it's not that you're dealing with one person or two-person, there are many people involved in it, right? And that is how you should be social enough to listen to the queries. You should be social enough to understand their issues. You should be patient enough to to give them a patient hearing about the concerns and the queries they are having. If you are that kind of person, and if you believe in networking, if you believe that you should have associates with you, then only this practice can be developed. And I would not say that only cooperatives, but I mean, cooperatives is at a micro level, but at macro level, let's call it as a real estate practice. So if you have to be in real estate practice, where I'm not, I'm not, uh, what I can say, I'm just restricting myself to cooperatives, but there are so many areas in real estate where there is a need of chartered accountant, where there is a need of consultant, and we as a chartered accountant, where we are very good in all the things, analyzing, drafting, sequencing, so all the things. So rather than a person going to any other fraternity professional, you as a chartered accountant can also take up this practice. And there is nothing as a rocket science here, only basic understanding of the provisions, understanding the legal framework, and then venturing into it, doing some marketing. When I say marketing, within the ethical standards, doing the marketing in the sense, you can start meeting the people around your area, in and around your area where you stay. You can tell them what you are into, what is that you have developed, that kind of work, and then you start getting the work. You can go and meet the people, you can start delivering lectures, you can have your own blogs or YouTube videos, because we are not allowed to do any advertisement or publicity about our own profession or practice area. So there are other ways of taking or getting into it through different modes, so that you will get the leads. So this kind of, you should be a person who likes to do all these things. If you are introvert, and you are not you don't want, you want everything, that platter should be in front of you, and then if it comes, then only I will take it. If that is the mindset you are having, then that it is very difficult for you to take this practice, because this practice is solely developed based on the networking and associate practice. Just a minute. Yeah. So to develop this practice, you will have to have a few skill sets. As I said, that you should be extrovert, should be a person of having some marketing skills, and then slowly trying to venturing into it will give you a very good footage and leverage to develop your practice in cooperatives and real estate. Now, cooperatives, as I said, it's not limited to housing. There are various types of cooperative societies in India and in Maharashtra. So whether you are in Delhi, whether you are in Maharashtra, whether you are Punjab, as I said, it's a state law. So what is cooperative? And you, at the same time, we should also understand difference between society which is getting formed, or society, when I say society or cooperative society, so society under the Cooperative Act and society under the Societies Registration Act. Because if you want to take the practice, or if you want to venture into the practice of the cooperatives, the basic understanding of these two concepts also make it's very important, and it should be it makes sense to understand. Because when I started one of the seminar or webinar, I asked the participants, what is that, what for you are enrolling for the seminar or this webinar, what is that takeaway you expect. And then I had one participant who said that, Madam, actually, I formed one society, uh, but that was a wrong society I formed. So I said, what is that you mean? So he said, actually, the clients approached me and they wanted me to form a society. Okay. So I thought it is a cooperative society. I mean, I thought it is a society under Societies Registration Act. So I formed it under Societies Registration Act 1860. Whereas they wanted a society under Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. So I said, when you realize, so he said, when I got the certificate, and when they saw it, then that time I realized, and they realized that it was a wrong formation, right? So what is the difference between these two societies is, the society under the Societies Registration Act 1860, when you're forming, that means you're forming association, NGO, sports association, or welfare associations, or maybe the chartered accountants, association. So these associations are formed under Societies Registration Act 1860, which is a central act. And the regulator for this particular association is basically a charity commissioner. That means this association invariably, at least in Maharashtra, the definition of trust includes association formed under Societies Registration Act, and that is there the registrar, there the regulator is the charity commissioner. Whereas when you form the society under the cooperative law, your registrar or regulator is your registrar. Registrar, or there is a hierarchy or ladder system in the cooperative department. So you need to understand what is that your client wants you to do. So you need to discuss with them what is the objective of that particular client, why he wants to form that society, why he calls it as a society and not an association. So you ask for the object, and then you will come to know that, oh, this is what he wants, and then, okay, this is how I need to proceed, right? So understanding the difference between Societies Registration Act 1860 and Society under Cooperative Society Act 1960, or in Maharashtra, or maybe 1961 in Gujarat, that makes sense, or that is what first we need to understand. And when you have a CA tag, or a prefix in your name, people or the society, they have larger expectations from you. They feel that you're a magician. You know everything. So they will just give you, we want to form a society. Madam, we are here, we want to form a society. Or why even cooperatives, even people come to float the companies, they will come and they will say, we want to float this kind of company. They'll not even give you the object. So it's like you will have to think, just they will give one liner or two liner, and they'll just simply go out of your office, and then you will be thinking, and you will be downloading from the MCA side the similar companies, their MOAs and AOAs. This is what the scene is, and that is why basic understanding of the concept is important. Now, again, talking about few statistics, and talking about the cooperatives. Cooperative is, as I said, it's not only about the state. It is not about the national also. That means cooperative is not only restricted or limited to the state, individual state. Not only about India as one country, but there is International Cooperative Alliance, which is a global, apex. Organization where the countries are the members. So there are 107 countries are the member, and India is one of the country which is a participating country in International Cooperative Alliance. So the way we have the associations and NGOs and federations who are taking or escalating the issues of cooperatives to the ministry or the department, same way we have ICA, which is representing the issues of the cooperatives across globe. So this is also something we need to know. So cooperative is not just limited to the state, but it's a global phenomena, I would say, and that is why it makes sense to even understand or get sensitized that I should not be ignoring cooperatives. And probably I think why we are not serious about cooperative is because our syllabus, CA syllabus, is centralized, syllabus where we don't have the state subject. And if you are doing articleship, and let's say if your principal is not into cooperative practice, so ideally when you become a chartered accountant, we don't take that kind of practice because we are not exposed to that kind of work, or we don't have that exposure to that kind of work, whatever we have handled. And that is why whatever our principal was into, ideally we take that field only as a practice area after we become a chartered accountant. So this is something, we need to even think of, and we need to add some chapter or some topic in our centralized syllabus also. That is what I personally feel. Now, multi-state is something, there is one centralized act, because as I said, cooperative is a state act. That means each state is having their own local act. Okay, but we also have a central act, and that central act is Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act 2002, which got amended in August 2023. So that is also one of the act, or the central act, where you will have a number of opportunities as a practicing chartered accountant. So you can do a traditional practice also. That means your audit and taxation field, as well as which is your domain field, or our domain, or forte we call it as. Or you can also be in non-traditional practice areas there also. So the practice area is voluminous, and I find that whenever, because we have a larger group of practitioners and less CAs, but other than CAs are there in this practice of floating the companies, floating the multi-states, floating the societies, and the remuneration that you can generate is much more than the audit, because when you are auditing or when you are doing that attest function, you are putting your seal, so you are at the same time, if you are not taken care properly, so the risk, I would say, is associated with that certificate is something which is more. So I personally feel, why not to take practice area where I'm not supposed to put my signature, there is less risk and there is more money. Why not to explore? Why the chartered accountants are not thinking of or going beyond audit? That is something, even I'm trying to figure out if why that sensitivity is not there, why that sense is not there, that if the other person is earning money. Because when you are auditing a particular cooperative society, you see the audit fees paid to a chartered accountant, and then one item in your income and expenditure account, you'll see the legal fees paid to some advocate. Though I'm an advocate now, but it used to pinch me that okay, as a chartered accountant, I'm getting 10,000, but as a advocate, he's getting 1 lakh from this society. So what is that he's doing? And why I'm not able to do that? So initially we did all this traditional work, and slowly we started to move out of this traditional work, and we started focusing on the non-traditional areas, right? So professional opportunities are enormous in cooperative societies, and RERA also of late, as Ashita was right. RERA has it's an era of practice. So RERA has opened a new door for all of us, and you won't believe, if you see the RERA Act, Section 56 of RERA Act, it says who are the professionals who can appear before the RERA authority for the litigation matter, because if your builder has not handed over the position to you in time as per the agreement or the date given in the agreement or the possession date, the person has to go to the RERA, because that is the ultimate authority now, because civil courts are barred from entertaining the complaints about the real estate. So if you have to go to RERA, then is it that, let's say you as a chartered accountant, you have invested in a flat, in a project, and the builder has not given you possession in time, then you being the chartered accountant, you are approaching to an advocate, with your query. It doesn't look good, because if you see Section 56 of RERA, the first professional who can appear before the authority is a chartered accountant. So first is chartered accountant, then it says it's company secretary, then cost accountant, and then fourth is the advocate in that list. So, to appear before the authority, or before RERA, I need not have to be, I should not have sanad, or I need not have to be an advocate. As a chartered accountant, I can be well, well equipped, because I have those skills of drafting, analyzing, sequencing, argument. We appear before the tribunal, income tax tribunal, GST tribunal, then why not before RERA? So RERA practice is also something which I think as a chartered accountant, we should be exploring. And here also in Mumbai, we see very few chartered accountants who are practicing in RERA as of now. So almost 5 to 6 years, we have seen 2017 RERA has come, but over the period, we could not develop much chartered accountants who are practicing in RERA. Still, there are very rare CAs who are taking this field. And when it is litigation, when you are in project registrations, when you are in compliances, these things will pay you more than the audits which are doing, because when you are into project registrations, nowhere you are signing as far as the RERA is concerned. If you are in compliances, yes, you are certifying, so there is some risk associated to your certificate. If you are auditing, if you are doing statutory audit under RERA for a project, yes, again, if you are certifying, there is a risk associated. But litigation, absolutely no risk. Project registration, absolutely no risk. Then why not? And it's a new act. The way the moment GST it got introduced, there were so many young professionals who took up the practice of GST, and now they are acting as a GST expert. They're delivering sessions, and they're doing wonderfully in the field of GST. Then why not in RERA and cooperatives, of course, right? So now, what are the professional opportunities in RERA? So if I have to say, as I said, the cooperatives are more than 50 types of cooperatives are there in Maharashtra and other states, because whatever is there in Maharashtra, similar cooperatives are there in other states also. So I will not restrict myself to Maharashtra, but I would say that each and every, so if you have the act, you just open the act, and you will find that each and every section in the cooperative act is my practice area. Now, whenever we open the act, the act will ideally start with, let's say, if it's a companies act, if I have to go or give you example or take you parallelly with the Companies Act, because when we talk about the Companies Act, we get a smile on our face. Let's say two people are coming to your office, to your chamber, and they say that we want to float a company. The moment they say we want to float a company or we want to form a company, lot of things, a lot of calculations happens back of my mind. We feel, अरे हाँ अच्छा चलो एक अभी एक company float करना है, so I will have tax audits आएगा, GST audit आएगा, company audit आएगा, all the compliances I will have, formation work I will have. This company may need project finance, so that loan syndication work I can have, project finance work I can have, I can handle. So all these things, the compliances, annual compliances, this company will have to do. So at least there will be one client in my portfolio, company client, and my revenue can go by 1 lakh, at least minimum 1.5 lakh. Those kind of calculations, your mind starts the moment I say it's a corporate entity or it's a company. Now, if I ask you, each one, I mean, whatever 5 or 6 people we are here, we are staying in a cooperative society, in an apartment or in a housing society, let's say. The name of your society, it ends with limited, right? That means each and every cooperative society is also a corporate entity. Let's say if I'm staying in Springleaf building, Springleaf Cooperative Housing Society Limited. So I'm taking the shares of my society. To become a member of the society, I need to take certain shares. The society issues me share certificate, right? The way in companies, you take the shares and you are being issued the certificates, right? So same way here also, I'm taking the shares, so I'm also shareholder. But at least in Maharashtra, we have an act. It says that it's a corporate entity. The cooperative society basically is a corporate entity, is functioning similarly on the same lines of a corporate entity. Only thing is, here in Maharashtra, Section 36 specifically says that Companies Act will not be applicable, right? Now, if I have to, align this statement with the professional opportunities. That means whatever I'm doing in a company or for a company client, I can do it for my cooperative client also. Now, for that, I have to generate a cooperative client. Now, how I can generate a cooperative client is, as I said, each and every section in the Act, Cooperative Act, is my opportunity. And the section of cooperative law will start with how to form the society. That means how a cooperative society can come into picture. That means how I'm going to float a company, same way how I'm going to float a cooperative society. So for that, I should know the provisions, and then I should also have that passion that I will advise my other clients who are trying to venture into some business. So I can tell them that, boss, see, this OPC or LLP or company is one form of legal entity which you can float. But there is something called cooperative also. This is also a model of business. And then I will give them the example, and I can set up a model, and I can, divert them from being forming a cooperative, I mean OPC, LLP, or a company under the Companies Act. Rather than that, you can form or float a cooperative society. There are so many people, so many, tax consultant, the accountants, they're having the accountants cooperative society, and they're doing accounts writing job. The way we have polyclinics, different people, they sit together, in a building and catering the services. Same way, we also can come together, and we 10 or 15 of us, we can come together and we can float a company, a cooperative society, and we can start giving this kind of services. So my first opportunity as far as the cooperative is concerned would be formation of a cooperative society. And formation of cooperative society, so I can float a housing society where I'm staying. I can float a company, I mean, I can float a credit society. I can form a multi-state cooperative society. I can float a factory. I can float a departmental store. So there are n number of types of societies which I can float or I can form. And formation will go as per the local laws, whatever act your local act says. These are the documents, this is how the society is to be formed. You need minimum 5 people. Let's say if you have to float a housing society where we are staying, you have bought a flat in a project. Now what happens ideally, if you're buying a flat in a project, ideally it's your builder or your developer who has to float a company or float a cooperative society or apartment for you as per the agreement which he has entered into, right? But unfortunately, the builder fraternity, every time they will, they are not in a mode of compliances. So they will not be doing that particular statutory compliance of floating or forming society or apartment for you. And then what will happen? You people, those who have taken position in that project, we start gathering, we start, uniting, and then we think, "Arey, builder to nahi de raha hai." You are writing letters and communications to the builder, he's not responding. And then an informal group emerges out of in that particular building, and then that group, they start meeting the consultants who are into the formation work. And let's say if someone says, yeah, there is advocate Shilpa who is into formation, so that group can come to me, and then we are there to guide them, and then we take them to that formation process. And money wise, if you say, it gives you, because nowhere you are signing whatever documents you are suggesting, or you are giving them for the formation process, nowhere your signature goes as a chartered accountant or as an advocate. It is the members who are coming together to form a society, so it is their signature, the chief promoter which they are appointing. So he will be signing all the documents, so your job will only be, to be a mediator between the those members and the department where the formation proposal will be routed. And formation proposal will be routed through the registrar, who is a regulating authority for the cooperative. So you as a mediator, you will be just, giving them the documents, they will be filling it up, you will be guiding them how to fill it up, they will be signing it, you will take the documents, you will submit the proposal. If there are hearings take place, you will go and appear before the authority, and then you will help them to get the society registration certificate. Now, if I have to give you the example of a housing society, right? When you buy a flat, you just check your agreement. You'll find that there is always a clause that he will float the cooperative society. The builder will form a cooperative society, and towards that formation, he will charge you something. Now, if you see the legal charges which the developers are collecting from you or me, it is around 25,000, 30,000, 50,000 per unit they will be charging, and we pay as part of the agreement. We have to pay. There is no leeway, there is no excuse. You have to make the payment, and they will take this payment upfront, before giving you the possession, with an intention that we are going to form a society for you, and this charge is towards that. But when they are not forming that society, and you're approaching to the consultant, so the consultants can charge anything between minimum 5,000 to 10,000 per unit. Now, if I have to give you just a calculation, if it's a society of 100 units, you are charging 5,000 rupees, that makes sense to go for the formation as taking the formation as the traditional area, non-traditional area of practice, because this is the field where you don't have chartered accountants. There is no competition for you. This is very niche area. Rare CAs are there in this field. It's a field which is dominated by other professionals. So in my opinion, rather than just thinking about the traditional practice, I think the non-traditional practice will give you more revenue, it will give you more leverage, right? So formation is something which I will advise that you should go for it. So it's not only housing society, even for forming the multi-state society. What is multi-state society? Multi-state society is like where more than two states are involved, right? So let's say if there is a bank, the bank is having a registered office in Maharashtra, and at the same time they're also having a branch or operations in Gujarat. So since there are two states involved, the local state registrar will not have any jurisdiction over the operations and the control over this particular bank. So who is the person who will be regulating this kind of entity who is having operations in two states? So it is a central registrar. And then this society, the banking, because bank cooperative bank is also a cooperative society first, right? So they will have to get registered under the Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act, and that will be a central registrar sitting in Delhi. Now, if you see the formation cost or the fees which are being charged for the formation of the multi-stage, they are not less than 5 lakhs. Minimum 5 to 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, or 20, 25 lakhs are the charges people or the consultants were charging for formation of the multi-stage. So I think this is one area which you and me as a chartered accountant, we should be exploring as far as the cooperatives are concerned. The next comes, because if we have to explore the opportunities, or we have to understand what are the opportunity. Let's understand the chain of transaction first. Now, if because here I'm limiting myself again to housing society, because that is what we see day in and day out, and we are experiencing, and we are accustomed to. Now, if I have to buy a flat, or if I have to invest in a project, what is that? What is the process, or what is the chain that one follow? Wha- Basically, I will either after going through the, let's say, newspaper, there is an ad of particular project, so I will go on Google, I will try to see the credentials about the builder, the developer, about the project. Okay, I will try to visit their local site office, or else what I will do, I will go to my local property consultant who is there in my area, and then I will ask them, okay, I have an intention, or I want to buy some flat in this particular locality. This is the configuration I'm looking for. And then the property consultant will help you to identify a property, maybe under construction or ready possession, and then you will take a decision of whether to buy or not to buy, whether to invest, not to invest in that under construction property. So in my chain, in this transaction, in my chain, this property consultant is the first person or first link, which can be a very good help to me as a practitioner. So what you can do is, because this is a person जिसके पास सबसे पहले, the person who wants to buy a flat or wants to invest will go or will approach. So if you have a very good rapport or tie up with this property consultant, maybe you can file the returns at concessional rate, or you can guide them or advise them, or on a regular basis, this person can divert some traffic to you being the chartered accountant. Because what happens whenever you are in a uh, housing society or cooperative practice, normally we do that practice for in and around area where we stay or where our office is there. So normally in and around area we try to cater the needs of the cooperative society. So this person, this property consultant, you can have a very good rapport with that person, and he can divert the traffic, in the sense whoever is coming to that person for buying a flat, he will say, okay, there is a chartered accountant, so you can go, because this person, if he has to buy a flat, he will have to go for a loan also. If he's buying a flat more than 50 lakhs rupees, there is income tax provision of deducting TDS, 1% TDS. So possibly that person will transfer or divert that person to you if you are in good connection, or you are working as associate basis. So some work can come from this property consultant, so you have to have a very good tie up and network or association with this kind of property consultant. And this property consultant, if you see in an area, there are, let's say, 100 or 200 property consultants. Chief promoter can be any member, like anybody from the members. Let's say there are 50 members in a building. So we need to show that there is a general meeting that took place, and there is an appointment of the chief promoter. So the forms prescribed. So forms, normally you will find, you will get the forms from the federation. Federation is like each and every society should get affiliated to the district federation. Federation means it is regulating the societies within that district or taluka. Okay, so federation will provide you all the forms. So chief promoter can be appointed within the members. Okay, if it is a builder floated society, the chief promoter, even builder can become a chief promoter, because there are few flats which are owned by the builder also in the project, right? So at times even builder can become a chief promoter. So try to have a network with this property consultant. This is a good link, because this person can give you very good work. And this in your area, if there are 100 or 200 property consultants, they also have their association, real estate brokers association or something. So you will get an access to those many estate agents. And this estate agents, again, in RERA, because I'm trying to link it with RERA also. In RERA, the way the project needs to be registered on the website before it is floated, same way each and every professional needs to be registered in that project. That means the names of the professionals needs to be given by the developer at the time of registration. So if a person is publicizing about the project of that particular builder, so that real estate agent or that property consultant needs to be registered with RERA first. So real estate brokers registration is also mandatory under RERA, right? The way the developer has to register the projects, each and every real estate agent, or a property consultant, if he wants to sell a flat in a particular project, first of all, he should get himself registered under RERA. So for you, another opportunity is with this property consultant. So if you have got access of, let's say, 200 property consultants and their association, you can go and you can make them aware that this is what RERA says, and that is why without having a RERA valid registration certificate, you should not be selling the flats. And I'm there to guide you, and I can give you all those, that professional help, and I will get all of you registered in RERA. So you can generate one assignment from there, and then these people, once you give them the RERA registrations, even the training is mandatory for these real estate agents now. So they are also supposed to maintain the accounts project wise. There are compliances even for the real estate agents in RERA. So this particular link in your transaction of buying a flat would be of immense help to you to generate other lead, or get work like taxation, loan syndication, because whoever is approaching that property consultant would definitely will be going for a home loan. And if you have got very good tabs with the bank official through your bank audit assignments, then you can also be in loan syndication work, and you can generate revenue out of that. Now, let's say you have approached the property consultant, you have decided on a property, you have booked the flat. Now, the next thing that we do is, after the flat is booked, you pay the token money to the builder or a developer, and then the builder or developer, he enters into an agreement with you. Okay, so here the next opportunity for a chartered accountant, which I would say as a non-traditional practice area, can be stamp duty and registration. That means whenever I'm buying a flat, or whatever agreements I'm executing, each and every agreement needs to be stamped and registered. So if I have to be in practice, real estate practice, I should also have knowledge of some allied laws. It's not only cooperative law I should know, or RERA I should know, but there are other allied laws also I should be knowing little bit. I need not be an expert in all those fields, but all those laws, but at least something of each and every act I should know. So I should know the Stamp Act, I should have the basic understanding of the Registration Act, I should know the local MHADA, SIDCO, or DDA, HUDCO. So these local authorities, MMRD Act, MRTP, Regional Town Planning Act, I should know, Urban Land Sealing Act, I should know, MOFA, GOFA, all these things. These are the acts. Corporation Act, Mumbai Corporation Act. So same way, the corporations are having their act, the Electricity Act. So all these acts I should know a little bit, because all these acts, they are in picture in a real estate industry. So I should be knowing. Now, when I'm entering into an agreement with the builder, so we are executing the document and we are paying the stamp duty, and the agreement is drafted. Now, who is the person who is drafting the agreement? So it is the property consultant who is only drafting the agreement for me. He's just showing it, that draft, to me. I'm okaying, or I'm waiting that draft, and then we are going ahead with the registration. Now, here the question is whether you and me, as a chartered accountant, can we take up the practice of, the stamp duty and registration? You will say that क्या ये बात कर रही है, stamp duty और registration, ये हम लोग कैसे कर सकते हैं, इसमें हमारा क्या है? But this is also one area where I feel we, as a chartered accountant, we can really generate very good revenue out of the agreements that you are drafting. Now, drafting is not a challenge for the chartered accountant. Google, there are formats available, and as I said, this is a network practice, or you should have associates. So if you have advocates with you, your friends are advocates, and if you get some assignment, like someone comes to your office and says, हमको ये agreement draft करना है, or we want to get this registered, and if your answer is simply no, I'm not into this, that person will not again come to your office anytime. So the motto should be, whatever comes to me, I should be accepting it, and I should see to it that I will get it done on a collaborative basis, or on a network basis, or associate basis. And you can simply call your friend and say that this is what the assignment, or walk-in customer, or there is an inquiry to me, and I'm not into this kind of practice, since you're an advocate. So I would request you to kindly help me, and then you can share the fees. So maybe first time you will share the fees with your advocate friend. The next time you need not have to share the fees, because you will be asked taking all the data in through the email, all the formats, everything for the first assignment. The next assignment, you will not be sharing anything with your advocate friend because you will have that comfort, and the next assignment you can deal as it is. And it's like rather than saying no straight away no to the client, it always makes sense to share the fees with some other professional. So rather than getting zero, at least you are getting 2000, 5000. That makes sense, right? Now the stamp duty registration, again, it's not a challenge. No risk, no certificate, nowhere you are certifying, nowhere you are putting your seal, nowhere your UDN is generated, nowhere your membership number or registration number is mentioned. No risk at all, right? And how much is being charged for the stamp duty registration now? Whatever, if it is agreement for sale, sale deed, conveyance deed, gift, will, release deed, family arrangement. These are the agreements, or these are the drafts, or these are the things which we can advise our even clients, even your whatever income tax portfolio you are having, or your GST client portfolio you are having. You should exploit this client portfolio. And just talking about the traditional things like audit and taxation, you should try to divert them to this kind of work also, saying that sir, will करना भी बहुत जरूरी है, या फिर आपके घर में, let's say if you are having issues, then go for the release deed, or you can go for the family arrangements, sir. So that kind of work you should be able to generate from the existing portfolio also. And stamp duty and registration, as I said, there are people, the 10th or 12th pass people who you can keep one person in your office who will be going to the registration office with your client, and he will get the work done, and you will have to just pay their fees off, and you can quote your fees in such a way that their charges are also included in that. So in any drafting or any registration, stamp duty registration work, you can claim, I mean, you can charge anything between 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, depending upon the area, the location, the work, the client that you are handling, the expertise you have, so anything between 15,000 or 10,000 minimum you can charge. And if you are able to do at least one or two stamp duty registration work in a month, I think still it makes sense. That 30,000 or 40,000, let's say, if you are generating, so over a period of 1 year, that means 5 lakhs will come only from stamp duty and registration. Let's say you are able to do one or two society formations in a year, and let's say that gives you revenue of around 4 to 5 lakhs. So this two assignment itself will give you a minimum 8 to 10 lakhs in a year, right? So professional opportunities in cooperatives is not, it is something unique you will enjoy also, provided you have that guts to take it up. A lot of rapport is needed with the departmental officials. So you, as I said, there are skill sets which are needed. So you should be a person who likes to go and talk to the people, have that like to have that rapport with the department. So you will have to go and sit with the department. You can help them in their ventures, because departments also, various departments, cooperatives, stamp duty registrar's office, they also have their own initiatives, their departmental initiatives, or ministry level initiatives too. You can go and you can help them in their initiatives, and that way you can create that rapport with the departmental officials, so that whatever work you are doing with them will be easy. Because sometimes people, or whenever I take the classes, the participants say it's not easy, madam, ye nahi kar sakte hain. We can't go and sit with the departmental official because that's not correct. And we don't have that kind of guts or confidence that this work I will be able to do it. But the way you deal with the income tax client, when we used to file the physical returns of the income tax assessees, so we used to have the contact numbers or rapport with all those boys who used to sit outside the assessing officer's chamber. So same way here also, if you go and visit the departments, and if you get the help of these boys only will make your job easy, and they only will guide you how the work is to be done. So that kind of attitude towards the work you should have, and I don't think then that becomes a challenge, right? So in my link of buying a flat or buying a property, first is a property consultant who can give me a lot of opportunities, and with whom I can be have a tie-up or associate basis pay we can work. Then I have floated the company. I have floated the my society is being formed. Then I bought the flat. Sorry, not society is formed. I have booked the flat. I have got it. Stamp duty and registration is being done. Now the builder has completed the project. I have taken the possession and I'm shifting into that new building, right? So I'm shifting into the new building, and my agreement says that the builder has to give me possession. Now we are waiting that builder will come and he'll give me possession. He has given me possession. Now I'm waiting that he will come and he will form a society, because I need some legal entity to manage and maintain that particular land and building. And that legal entity, as per the agreement, is a cooperative society which he is going to form. Now you're sending the letters to the builder. Builder is not responding, and in that case, as I said, the informal group will meet and then they will go to some consultant, and then your assignment or your opportunity of society formation will come into picture. And as I said, there is a set procedure in each and every act. There are circulars, notifications of each and every state cooperative department which needs to be followed. And as per those circulars, you can float the societies and you can charge anything between 5,000, 10,000, or 15,000 minimum, again depending upon which location you are into, how many, what is the size of the society, what is the complexity involved, and then you can go and float those society. So you can also approach RERA, because RERA says 151% flats are booked. It is the responsibility which is cast on the builder that he should form the legal entity. And if builder is not forming or developer is not forming the legal entity, then you people can come together and you can approach RERA even for the formation of the society. Now, let's say if you don't want to knock the door of RERA, now your local law here means Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act, or let's say if I'm in Gujarat, Gujarat Ownership Flat Act. So I have a parallel act. Here in Maharashtra, MOFA. So there we have one competent authority called District Deputy Registrar, which is the upper authority in the hierarchy. So at lower level, I will have assistant registrar or deputy registrar. So across India, it is assistant registrars, right? Registrar is a regulating authority for cooperating. So assistant registrar or deputy registrar. Then I have district deputy registrar. Then I have divisional joint registrar. Then I have state cabinet minister, and then it's high court. This is the ladder even for the appeal matters or the revision matters, right? So society formation, if builder is not cooperating, that means society formation can happen in two ways. One is builder suo moto. He gives you all the forms, he takes your signature, he himself becomes a chief promoter, or he appoints someone from you, from the members, as the chief promoter, and then he is getting society formed and he's getting you the society registration certificate because he has taken money from you. Right, so that is society registration formation under builder cooperation. Now, let's say where builder is not cooperating, then in my allied law or in my local law, that is parallel law or parallel act, MOFA or GOFA, it is said that this person is a competent authority. Now, who is the competent authority? District Deputy Registrar is the competent authority. So what I'm supposed to do, so if my builder is not cooperating and if he's not forming the society for me, then I can approach the District Deputy Registrar. I can put up one application under the local law, and then that authority will see to it that they will issue the notices to the builder and developer saying that this is what the application I have received. They have made you the party. That means we have to make the builder as the opponent there. And we as a proposed society, we have to, be the applicant for that particular thing. The notices will be issued by the DDR office and hearings will take place in the DDR office. And after giving opportunity to both the parties, DDR will pass the order saying that, okay, this society, I'm ordering that this society needs to be formed, right? So this kind of society formation is under builder non-cooperation. That means here you don't need builder per se. It is the district deputy registrar who is the competent authority and having jurisdiction over this kind of transaction where non-cooperation is there. Or you can approach RERA also. So this formation, under builder cooperation and builder non-cooperation. Now, if it is builder non-cooperation, people will come to you for the help and you can charge. Now, for builder cooperation, where builder is floating the company, there also people will approach you saying that we don't have any confidence or trust on this builder. So, madam, can you please help us? So, जैसे जैसे ये process होगा, so we want you to be there throughout this process with us, So, in that case, you can charge them some lump sum amount as your professional fees, and so that you will oversee the process, and so that the interest of the flat owners is, protected. That will be your job. So that is also one of the opportunities. So whether it is formation under cooperation or formation under non-cooperation, both ways you can generate revenue. Now let's say your society is formed, right? So I'm going by the link or the chain. property consultant, opportunities with a property consultant, opportunities as stamp duty and registration. Now I have floated the society. So society formation opportunity we have seen. Now we have taken the position society is formed. Now the builder or the developer, he has charged or he has taken advance maintenance from me for 2 or 3 years. Because if you see or if you open your agreements, everybody knows that whenever I'm buying a flat in a project, the builder will take 2 or 3 years advance maintenance, because post OC he will be monitoring or maintaining that project till he hands it over to the legal entity which is being formed, right? So the next assignment, non-traditional, because I'm taking non-traditional first. So non-traditional assignment which can be taken care by a chartered accountant is assignment of handover and takeover from the builder. So when I say handover takeover, that means the builder, whatever he has collected from all the members in that project, so he needs to give the accounts. He's accountable to give the accounts of all those the money that he has collected. So that provision is there in RERA also. That provision is there in my local parallel act also. So handover and takeover of the accounts and handover and takeover of the records, because all the approvals of my project, my plans, my drawing sketches, pipelines, drainage, electricity, plumbing, everything, whatever assets he has bought, that STP, WTP plant, everything is with the builder. Whatever MCs he must have entered into, because he was managing and maintaining the project till he hands it over. So everything, all these originals are with the builder. So when I say handover, so handover means taking it from the builder. So taking the accounts, getting it audited, doing the expenditure scrutiny, and then getting all the original records which are required under various laws. So there is a checklist. So I need to ensure that this handover or takeover is proper. So someone, I need some consultant there. Now there are societies, they don't understand the importance of the handover takeover. What they feel is handover is nothing but the audit. So let's say builder has given you receipt and payment account to the newly formed committee, because the moment society is formed, you will have the elections in the first general meeting, and a provisional managing committee will come, and provisional managing committee will have to take the handover from the builder. And handover from the builder means builder will just give one receipt and payment account signed by some chartered accountant without any report. He'll say 10 crores I've collected from the project, and 9 crores and 80 lakhs is my expenditure, and hardly 20 lakhs is to be paid to the society. Whereas when handover or takeover assignment is given to some consultant who's a specialized person in this field, then that person can do a review of that entire accounts. He can reconcile it with CAM's charges sheet, which is being given by the builder, and probably that 20 lakhs which he was supposed to give to the society can turn into 80 lakhs on 1 crore, because what expenses he has charged, you don't have any control, and that person, that consultant, can be of help. And that consultant will be again a mediator between the builder and the managing committee, and that person will be a person who will do a proper sign off of the entire assignment. So that person or that consultant can be you. So a handover or takeover assignment is something which you as a chartered accountant you can take, and only at the time of final sign off your signature will go, right? So this assignment also will give you some anything ranging from 1 lakh to 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, depending upon again the size of the society, how the builder is, the complexities involved, the location of the society. So anything between 1 lakh to 10 lakhs you can minimum you get, and you can charge for the photo assignments also, right? So handover and takeover is also one of the non-traditional assignment which I feel the chartered accountants we are not taking, because we are just talking about audit, taxation, GST. Our mind doesn't go beyond audit and taxation. Audit you should do, because audits will give you the entry. So if you are able to take audit of one housing society or one, let's say, credit society or one multi-purpose society or one multi-state society, so you will get an entry to that entity or in that society, and then you can generate the other assignments, right? So to start with, if you are really interested in this particular assignment, then to start with doing audit makes sense. But as you know that audits will not pay you because each state is having fees, maximum fees to be charged. So there is a specific GR in Maharashtra, there is a GR in Gujarat. So the fees are limited, whereas risk is more. So I'm on the point that rather than taking more risk and less fees, let's talk something which is not traditional, where you are not signing anything, there is no risk and there is more revenue, which we are missing, So that is what I'm trying to attempt to tell you. So handover takeover is something which you can do. Then when after that, the routine function of the society will go on. And then while managing or administering the society, you will have all small issues like complaints from the members. There will be difference of opinion between the committee members. So you will have issues, because cooperative, the beauty of cooperative is you are dealing with more people, right? If you are, it's a housing society of 100 members, so you are dealing with 100 people. And if you are dealing a corporate client, you will just, only the, the director or maybe the accountant or the auditor. But in case of cooperative societies, 100 people know that, yes, she has done my audit. Your audit report goes to 100 people, so out of, let's say, that 100 people, 10%, that means 10 people, they will walk down to your office, and there can be your, income tax client can be developed. So out of those 10, someone can come for income tax, someone can come for some stamp duty registration work, someone can come for GST work, someone can come for loan syndication work. So this housing practice basically will open the door for other assignments. So your taxation practice automatically develops if you are into housing practice, right? So this day-to-day activities, when it starts, so you will have frictions, there will be issues within the members to members, there will be issues, ego issues, members, committee members will be issues, committee members will be issues. And these issues will go to such an extent that registrar has to come in picture. And then other sections in the act where a lot of compliances are to be done by the society. So if the managing committee has not done those kind of compliances, so the members are raising concern or issues with the registrar that my managing committee is not doing this, my society has not conducted audit, my society has not conducted election, they have not filed these returns, all these things. And then other sections will get invoked, and then these are the opportunity for your litigation practice. So more the issues, the more litigation practice practice area you can develop. And this, as I said, if you are dealing with one society, you will have 100 members, and out of that 100, let's say 10 or 20, they are troublemaker, or you know not happy with the functioning of the society, they can come to you in a group, and then you will have to address their issues. So the fees that you can charge here is more, so number is more here, so the number of clients that you have to cater to is more. And that is why it gives it will give you satisfaction. You will enjoy also when you start being into this. So this litigation practice also will give you very good revenue in the sense, and whenever there is a litigation, so litigation can be, just writing a complaint letter, or let's say registrar has given some letter, translating that letter or responding to the letter. So if you can start with those small assignments, or let's say the flats are getting changed, transferred, or there is a death in the family and you need to, change name in the share certificate. So you want a written opinion. So you as a chartered accountant can give a written opinion, but as an advocate, we can give legal opinion, So that kind of work you can do. So you can be a retainer for the society. So as a retainer, you can give legal services. And as a chartered accountant, you can do that, because you have the knowledge of the cooperative law. So you can help them in deciding on the agendas, to prepare the minutes, drafting the minute book, advising them on the budgeting and all. So all these small things which you do for your company client, you can definitely do for the cooperative client also. And this litigation, why I enjoy litigation is because whenever you are getting one assignment of litigation, your minimum two assignments are confirmed. Now how your two assignments are confirmed? Because once, let's say, you are appearing on behalf of a society, and there is opponent, let's say member is opponent, right? And you are appearing before the registrar. Now, let's say the order is in favor of the society. The member, anyway, is going to challenge that order with the appellate authority, right? So, in that case, society will say, Madam, now you only will have to handle that. So one assignment of litigation gives you minimum two assignments, right? So litigation is something, and people are ready to pay for the litigation. However, you go in a counseling mode, you tell them that this is not good, you are going to waste money, energy, time, but they want litigation, and then they are ready to pay for the litigation. So I think litigation practice is also something which the practitioner, I mean the chartered accountant. Now the question is, can I appear before the registrar? Okay, now I'm an advocate, so I'm appearing, right? But iske pehle, when I was not an advocate, whether I was appearing before the registrar, yes, I was appearing up to the state ministry, because this registrar is a quasi judicial authority. Quasi judicial authority means it's an administrative authority. Administrative authority means they are doing the registration of the societies, they are doing the monitoring, regulatory work, that taking care of the other activities, getting the compliances, the elections conducted. So they are doing the administrative work, but at the same time, they are also being given the judicial powers, right? So they are quasi-judicial authorities, and whenever there is a quasi-judicial authorities, you need not have to be an advocate, because in person also you can appear. So you, as a chartered accountant, you can appear before the registrar up to the ministry level. Only when the matter goes to the high court, or when the matter goes to the cooperative courts which are constituted in each state. Each state will have cooperative court, because in the act there are certain sections which says that this particular dispute will go to the cooperative court. This dispute does not have jurisdiction of the registrar cannot entertain that complaint. So in that case, it will have to go to, like, let's say, election, or any decision which is taken in the general meeting or the managing committee meeting. If you want to challenge that kind of resolution, then it is a cooperative court where you will have to go and put your dispute. So then the advocates are needed. Otherwise, you as a chartered accountant, you can very well appear before the registrars. And that is why, and I find that small, kids of 21, 22 years, those who are doing BLS after 12th, advocates, I mean, they are appearing before the registrar. So I sometimes feel, why not the chartered accountants? Because we are very good in drafting, appearing, argumental skills are very good. So we should take litigation practice also. Now, there is another creamy area as far as the housing societies here is concerned, is a conveyance. Like whenever you are buying flats from the builder, so we as a member, we are just occupier in that particular building, and the land on which my structure or building is erected or constructed. So that land rights are still with the landowner, right? And the building rights are with the developer. So both of them, they're supposed to transfer this right, title, and interest in this particular land and building to the society, so that in the revenue records, that means in PR card or Satbara, my name will be recorded, my society's name will be recorded. So this is again, RERA says that the builder, after the OC, that means occupancy certificate, which comes after building completion certificate, which is a conclusive evidence that the society or this particular project or building is habitable, right? So that once the OC comes, within 3 months from the OC, the developers or the promoters, they're supposed to give conveyance, or they are supposed to execute the conveyance deed. And RERA, as you know, it's a central act, right? It is not a state act, it is a central act. But each state has, gazetted, or they have introduced their rules. So there is an act which is a central act, but rules are introduced by each and every state as per their within the framework of the act. So conveyance is there in RERA also. OC आने के बाद में within 3 months the promoter is supposed to give the conveyance in the name of the legal entity which is formed. That means in the revenue records, the name of the legal entity should get reflect as the owner, right? So this is also an assignment. So here there is responsibility or obligation cast by RERA. Now, if you are a developer or you are a promoter here means landowner and developer, because a person may have a land ownership title, he will enter into a development agreement with the developer, right? So that building ka development rights are with the builder. So these two people are called as the promoter. So it is a responsibility of the promoter to give the conveyance in the name of the legal entity, right? Now, if these people are not doing the statutory compliance of RERA, you as a society or you as a legal entity, you can approach RERA and get the conveyance. If you don't want to approach RERA, you can go to your local law, that is MOFA or GOFA, and you can approach the competent authority, that is District Deputy Registrar, and you can get the conveyance. This is called as dimmed conveyance in Maharashtra, right? So this conveyance assignment is also creamy. So here the way there is a society formation under builder cooperation and non-cooperation. Same way here, conveyance under cooperation and non-cooperation. So if you are promoter or promoters, they say we are ready to give you conveyance. This is the conveyance deed we are getting executed. Please go through it. That means they are ready voluntarily and suo motu. They are giving you the conveyance. So you may need or may not need the consultant, but in that case also the members, they will approach you because they want to get this conveyance deed which is given by the builder to be weighted by you, so that there are no onerous clauses which are against the society or not in the interest of the society. So there also you as a consultant or you as a chartered accountant can play a very good role in vetting that document, right? So this is normal conveyance. Even deemed conveyance, you will have a role to play to appear before the authorities, and then once the order comes from the authority, you will draft the conveyance deed. That deed needs to be registered, stamped, because each and every agreement or deed which we are drafting needs to be stamped, needs to be executed. So that stamping has to be done. So adjudication will be done in collector of stamp office. So you need to have rapport with the collector of stamp office also. Let's say adjudication is done, then you will take that conveyance deed for registration. So you need to have rapport with sub-registrar offices also, people from sub-registrar office. Then you will register the conveyance deed. Then you will take the registered conveyance deed and index to the city civil office or Talati office. That means you need to have rapport with the city survey officers or the Talati office people also. And then your name or your society's name gets recorded in PR card. So this process of conveyance or deemed conveyance gives you very good revenue. And each and every housing society, it is mandatory for them to go for the conveyance if the builder has not given conveyance, right? Because tomorrow if society has to go for the redevelopment, let's say after 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, society has to go for redevelopment. The building is not in a proper condition or dilapidated condition. So in that case, society will not get the approval from the corporation, and that is why conveyance has to be there in the name of the society. So this assignment will also give you anything between, you can charge per unit, ranging from 5,000 per unit, 25,000 or 30,000 per unit, depending upon again the size, the location, the complexity is the litigation involved, the kind of mindset the managing committee has, and you can quote and the comfort that you have. So this assignment will also generate a lot of revenue for you. Let's say it's a 100-member society and you're doing a conveyance and you're charging 10,000, which is minimum that you will charge. So that assignment can generate 10 lakhs rupees. One assignment can generate 10 lakhs rupees. And as of now in Maharashtra, let's say 1.25 lakhs housing societies are there, and hardly 20,000 or 30,000 societies conveyance is done. So we are just looking at the numbers, the number of societies that I have, and I can capture the market. So if I'm able to make or do at least 3 or 4 conveyances in a year, and if I can generate, let's say 20-25 lakhs out of those conveyance assignments, 5 lakhs from, let's say, formation, 5 lakhs from stamp duties, 20-30 lakhs from the conveyance work, some 10 lakhs or 5 lakhs from the litigation work. This is just a, mota moti the typical assignments, non-traditional assignments I'm talking about. But it's an ocean. It's an ocean in the sense you will have assignments of, NA related, like societies, they are getting notices for non-agricultural tax payments. There are issues related to OCs, there are issues related to property cards, there are issues related to area correction of the members of the flat, like they're paying the property taxes. And when we see the annexure which is given by the property tax offices, you find that your area is mentioned as 450 square feet, whereas your area is around 475 square feet. So why that difference? So you can approach a consultant who is into real estate practicing. Then, madam, this is what the issue. You can have issues. People can come to you for regularization of the unauthorized construction. So you need to have rapport with the associate. You need to have architects with you. You need to have civil engineers with you, right? Now we are handling one assignment right now. We are, 122 members, where we are regularizing whatever internal changes they have made to their flats. So me as a chartered accountant or advocate, I'm not a subject matter expert in all these things. So I have architects with me who can, guide us, or there is a civil engineer who can guide us, and they can go to the building proposal department of the corporation, and we can get that work done. So when they approached us, we did not say, no, no, sir, we are not into this. I've never done this. We cannot, we never say that, because we have people, associate basis or tie-up basis, who work for us. So we can just get back to them and we said, okay, this is what the inquiry we have, and we gave them the quote. So it's like a lot of work is there in cooperatives, especially in housing cooperatives, non-traditional work. And then there is traditional work like audit, income tax, GST, online compliances, and all other, ETDS returns. Housing societies will not have tax audit, but if it is a credit society, if it is a cooperative bank, you will have tax audits, you will have GST audit. With the cooperative banks also, you can, the way you do nationalized bank, a concurrent audit, statutory audit, you can do the statutory audit, the concurrent audit, the system audit, the forensic audit for the cooperative banks, the credit societies. Internal audits you can do for the housing societies, internal audits you can do for all this type of societies. So be more into the non-traditional area rather than the traditional areas, I would say. You have opportunities even with the departmental official departments, like each and every cooperative department, irrespective of the states you are into, they have the panel of the auditors, they have the panel of the liquidator, because as I said, the corporate and cooperative, they are parallel. So the way we have amalgamations, mergers, bifurcation, division, liquidation of companies, so same provisions are there in cooperative laws also, that one cooperative society can amalgamate, they can, subdivide, that they can get bifurcated, there can be liquidation of the cooperative society. So you will have panel of arbitrator, you will have panel of liquidators, you will have panel of administrators. Administrator is like, when there are managing committees, when there is a vacuum in the managing committee, that means, let's say there are no elections, or people are not coming forward to be a managing committee member, or let's say the registrar has disqualified the managing committee and there is a vacuum, there is no managing committee now to function. So in that case, the departmental official will be appointed as an authorized officer or administrator, who will take care of the functioning of the society till the next elections or the fresh elections happen. So this administrator, there is a panel of administrator also, so then there is inquiry. So there is one section in the act, that is inquiry officers, election officers, inspection officers. So the accounts of the societies are getting re-audited. The accounts of the societies can be, inspected by the department. If there are complaints from the member about the some fraud, that they feel that there is some misappropriation of the funds by the managing committee, so they can write a letter or complaint letter to the registrar saying that we want inquiry to be conducted in the accounts of the society. So inquiry officers can be appointed under section 83 year of MCS Act. So you have panel of inquiry officers also. So there are opportunities in cooperatives, with the department also. So I think even this assignments can be tracked or captured by the chartered accountants. And as I said, a lot of you should have that basic understanding. It's not that easy also, that okay, tomorrow let's say out of five of you, if I'm able to ignite even a one lady, I think that will be a success of today's webinar. I will get satisfaction. But if you have to get ignited, and if you want to really venture into this particular field, then you need to read a lot for basic understanding of the cooperative laws, rules, because there is a legal framework which is being followed, which we need to follow. So what is the legal framework? One is, first is constitution, that means the amendment, as I said. So constitution, then it comes the act, so I should know my local act, the rules, then bylaws. So bylaw is like, as companies mein MO and AO hai, internal rules and regulation. So each and every cooperative society will be governed by the bylaws, that means internal rules and regulations, which are approved by the registrar, the regulating authority, at the time of registration of the society. So I should know the provisions of the bylaws, of my local, of that particular society which I'm handling. And then comes the circulars, notifications, GRs, which are being issued by the department, right? Cooperative department or cooperative ministry. That means, me as a practitioner in real estate or in cooperatives, I should be updated always about this circulars, notification. That is what the job I'm doing whatever updates I get, I try to pass it on to the chartered accountants, because you must be handling, because each and every chartered accountants I know, you may not be in this field as a core or domain practice area, but each and every chartered accountant is handling cooperatives. At least one or two housing society audits you must be doing, so it makes sense to have the basic understanding of the act laws. You can watch videos of the experts, YouTube videos that will give you a little bit, clarity on the topic. You can go through the blogs, you can read the articles, newspapers, the journals, and then it's like research and research, even the judgments on various sections. So if you have got one assignment, or let's say in your own society you want to litigate some matter, that society has charged some maintenance, extra maintenance, or some amount which you feel that it is not as per the bylaws, you seek opinion from your friend or a consultant who is into this cooperative practice, and if he says yes, this is not a valid bylaw, valid resolution that your society has passed, and if you have to go to cooperative court, or for that matter any other forum, if you want to take your matter, so you need to have the basic understanding. Being the chartered accountant, I cannot expect it from the layman, but being the chartered accountant, so you can go through the judgments which are available on the Google. Google is, everything, we get everything on Google. So Google can come to your rescue, and you can download the judgments on each and every section. You can have, your local departmental judgments. You can have high court judgments, Supreme Court judgments on that particular topic, and then that will give you the clarity, and that will, there will be quality in your advisory services, because I want you all to be there in the advisory services, so you can also start giving opinions. Advisory is something which pays you. People can come to your office across locations, because if they say yeah, she is the expert, then they come across the location. You can have Zoom consultancies, and you can generate revenue out of consultancy itself. In a day, let's say if you are able to give 3 or 4 consultancies, and if you are charging on hourly basis, let's say 2000 or 3000 on hourly basis, so 10,000 per day as consultancy charges and Zoom consultancy charges. That is what I do. So I think that will also give that will also generate very good revenue. So rather than going for a job, or rather than doing the traditional practice, and I always believe that you should have a quality portfolio. I mean, doing 100 returns in 1,000 rupees, and filing 1,000 returns in 100 rupees, your revenue remains same, but it's the quality which will speak, and you will have less work. Why I'm talking this? Because we, being the legal women, professional, we have to balance our professional and personal life. We need flexibility, and this cooperative practice will give you flexibility. So let's say, even if you are not keen in taking the non-traditional area, because after my lecture or this session, you find that no, it's not possible for me to go and meet the departmental official. I cannot go to the sub registrar office, I cannot go to the registrar office, I cannot go to the collector of stamps office, I cannot have associates and all. So whatever she has told, it's not my cup of tea, and I mean, I cannot take this practice. Then at least start taking the accounts writing job of a housing society. You can develop a software, that is another opportunity. I'm also into software vetting. The people, they come out with a software, and they come to me for vetting of that software. Small people, I mean, the hardware or technical people, they come, 4 or 5 people, they come together, and they come out with a software. Why? Because as I said, the number figure I've given, it's housing society. Everywhere you will find the construction, the projects are coming. That means societies are going to be formed. Handover assignments will be there, litigation assignments will be there, and each and every society audits are mandatory. Statutory mandate is there. So there is section 81 here in Maharashtra which talks about audit. Every society has to appoint the auditors in AGM. So this statutory audit is audit is mandatory, statutory. So that means I have to have the accounts. So for that, now the trend is softwares. So now we are not into this physical. Even Tally has a housing society module. So you can start maintaining the accounts of a housing society, and you know how much they're charging this apartment, Adda, MyGate, how much they're charging the society Hive, how much they're charging 100 rupees per member for accounts and billing for in a software. The software cost is hardly 15,000 or 20,000 or 25,000 maximum. That is your one time investment. And if you have minimum, let's say 10 or 15 or 20 societies in and around your house, that means you are, let's say you are residing, and in and around that area, if you are able to generate 15 or 20 societies for the accounts writing, 100 rupees per month per member, sitting at your own office with one computer, one or two computers, one software, it's only one time job, it's monthly billing, monthly receipts and monthly accounts, that itself can generate a very good revenue, nothing to be, no risk, nothing. You can have one or two people. And I, being the female practitioner, I feel that flexibility and less work where staff dependent activity, because even I was doing a lot of concurrent audits, statutory audits of the banks, and it used to be headache for me, pathetic, because these activities, the GST return filing, wherever there are deadlines, the tax audits, everything, I'm not doing a single tax audit, not a single tax audit I've done for last 10 years, because this work is a staff dependent activity, and this cooperative practice, what we are doing, we are not dependent on the staff, because we have the associates, there are architects, civil engineers, city survey officers, advocates who are doing work for us. So even if we don't have staff in our office, our work is getting done. And आज इसका छुट्टी है, कल उसका छुट्टी है, articles, and so this kind of, I mean, just think over this, because that this is also needed. And sometimes after, after practicing for over 10 years or 15 years, I think we should also understand there is, self actualization need, kind of Maslow's hierarchy theory, as we call it, that initially when we are in initial phase of our practice struggle phase, we take care of all the small assignments, accounts writing, billing, auditing, small assignments. But at a later stage, when you come, you feel that अरे इसके लिए तो मैंने नहीं किया था ना, CA, PAN card application, GST application, GST rate. This is what is the challenge? What is the skill in that? Any graduate can do that, So it depends again what kind of mindset you have. But I feel that this cooperative, if you look into, or if you seriously take care of this particular field, now it will generate a lot of assignment, and it's a volume, and you just see the area of practice. There are almost 50 plus types of societies, uska federation, unke apex federation, ये सबके audits होते हैं. So audit, even if you restrict yourself to the traditional practice, in cooperative, still you have such a wide network, wide volume that you need to cater to. So try to be either a traditional practitioner, you can come here, you're welcome here as an advisory practitioner, you can come here as a non-traditional practitioner. And RERA, as I said, you can be a project registration, real estate registrations, the compliances, the statutory audit is mandatory under RERA. For each and every project, the builder is supposed to get the audit done. So that RERA audit you can do. The only thing is, the person who is doing RERA audit is not supposed to do the compliance. So you should not be issuing certificates for the project. That is the circular, and that is explicit provisions. And litigation services in RERA. So you can appear with the authorities, which is at the first level. Your matter will go to the authority first, and the order, if someone wants to challenge, it will go to appellate tribunal, right? So you can take matters up to appellate tribunal, and then it will go to high court. So there also there is no need of advocate. A chartered accountant can very well appear, as I said, section 56 specifically talks about that. So there are a lot of assignments and opportunities, and system audit and forensic audit is a new concept which we are trying to introduce. Compliance audit is something which we are trying to introduce, in cooperatives. Forensic, because in a housing societies or in a societies you may find that there are frauds, so forensic audit will come into picture. So I'm not talking about the banks and credit societies, big banks with crores and lakhs turnover, where anyway RBI is monitoring, and there are forensic audits happening, at the ministry level or at the department level or RBI level. But housing societies also, then forensic audit is a concept which is getting evolved. So those who are into system audits can also think of that kind of work, because whenever, let's say, in a housing society there is a repairs and major contract or painting of 1.5 crores or 2 crores in a city like Mumbai, and if members feel that this is not the work or worth work which is being done in our society, so they may ask for the forensic audit, so a number of areas are there for practice in this cooperatives and RERA. And you should enjoy whatever you are doing, and you should be passionate enough to take it as a practice area. And if you are passionate, then you can convert that passion into profession, the way I've converted my passion. Because initially I started getting work only of cooperatives, and then I thought, let me be, into this field only. And it's a niche area, not much, uh, uh, you know competition is there in this area, so people do come from across cities, or through Zoom call also we connect with the members from, Pune, Nasik, Aurangabad, Nagpur. We are trying to do the assignments from local associates. So I think this cooperatives and RERA, I mean, is the area where all the chartered accountants should, explore, because this is an unexplored field. And if you and me are there, definitely the sector will definitely grow. Okay. So with this, I will sign off, and I will hand it over again to the coordinators. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shilpa ma'am. It was indeed a very comprehensive and elaborate session, and seamlessly woven with knowledge and pointers about creating work opportunity throughout your session,
Yeah.
telling us how we could, intertwine all the work and multiply it multifold. Okay. However, we have certain queries which have been registered with us, and can we put them up right now?
Yeah, please.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there's a question coming up. It's talking about how does RERA ensure transparency and accountability within the cooperative housing society?
Yeah. See, RERA per se will not have overall control over the legal entity, because the entity is registered with the authority, which is your local law, cooperative law. So RERA will not have any control over the legal entity, but the members of the legal entity, that means of a cooperative society, definitely go back to RERA for their grievances. Yeah, so RERA will just ensure that a legal entity is formed or a cooperative society is formed. But how the functioning of the cooperative society should be, RERA does not have control over that.
Ma'am, there's another question, which
Yeah.
is like, what challenges or obstacles do real estate cooperative commonly face when it comes to RERA compliance, and how can they overcome them?
Yeah, the challenges as far as the RERA compliances is basically the mindset of the members. Because whenever people approach us, and we try to guide them about knocking the door of RERA, so they will have n number of excuses and n number of reasons. Nahi, whether ye hoga kya? Now we are going against the builder. Now we know the builder. They are, they have money, manpower. They will try to threaten us. Basic with this basic understanding and concerns, people come to us, and then we have to tell them that no, it's not like that. RERA is, because you anyway you can't go anywhere. Civil courts are barred from entertaining the complaint. At the most, you can go to the consumer forum now parallelly. So it makes sense to go to the RERA. So obstacles can be, even if you register the complaints nowadays. Initially, when RERA was introduced in 2017, the number of complaints that we had, the RERA had, and the number of complaints now RERA has, it's manifold, and now we are getting the hearings after 1 year almost. So initially the hearing used to happen after 2 months or 3 months, we used to get the dates. Now the hearings itself are not taking place, 1 year. And the obstacle or concern is, okay, the act is there, you are getting the orders, but implementation is the biggest issue. So we say it's a toothless tiger as far as the RERA. In my opinion, it is a toothless tiger. The only thing is, yeah, but you should have something as a claim, So tomorrow, let's say you have bought a flat, and that person has, mortgaged that flat, or he has sold it to some other institution or entity. Then where you will go, if the project is stuck. So that is why we advise that in that sense, it makes sense to go for RERA. At least you have paper order with you that yes, I have claimed in this property. So the major challenge as far as RERA is the implementation, and less machinery there. We have less benches here in Maharashtra. So we as a bar association, we are definitely representing with the authority, the housing department, and with the RERA authorities also on that. So the mindset needs to be changed for the members. because they want to wait, नहीं अभी ठीक है, December 2022 था ना, तो मैडम वो दे देगा, हम वेट करते हैं. So we need to tell them कि section 18 is there where you will get the interest from the date of your possession. So why you are not knocking the door of RERA? Because RERA क्यों आया है? It's a central act because there were no machinery to redress your grievances. आपको पोस्ट टू पिलर भागना पड़ता था, मैं कंज्यूमर जाऊं, सिटी सिविल जाऊं, या फिर हाई कोर्ट जाऊं, कहाँ जाऊं? So people were clueless. Now RERA is their centralized mechanism है and 3-tier mechanism है, आपको वैसे disposal fast है. So challenges are those kind of challenges basically. And builder fraternity, as everybody knows, they will not leave you happily, will not allow you to
Yeah.
leave, happily. So if they get order against them in RERA, they will go to tribunal, then they will go to high court. So it's like 2-3 साल तो ऐसे ही निकल जा रहे हैं. So that is the biggest challenge.
So does it mean that compliance and all that stuff can be taken care of right at the initial stages, so that there are no complications? This
No
is some.
complications in the sense, these are, I mean, whether you do the compliances or not. This is the mindset, as I said, mindset as a LOT and mindset as a builder fraternity.
Mhm.
So as a LOT mindset is, I don't want to, because I don't want to take any headache from the builder. He may threaten me or something like that, or let me wait. And mindset of a builder fraternity, let me not give them this formation order or the conveyance. Let them go to the appellate tribunal. I will take them to the high court. So it's like killing the time. So that kind of thing. Baki compliances, so he has to do the compliances, and there are penalty provisions in RERA. So there is no leeway for the builders and even the allottees. So if you are not paying the installments which is being demanded by the builder, so even builder can go to RERA against you. Right? So it's both ways, because this is not only buyer centric but builder centric also.
Okay, so how can an individual or a group interested in forming a cooperative housing society ensure that they are in alignment with RERA regulations from the outset? Also, there's a connecting question with this. How can we get to learn about the RERA Act to start practicing in that field? Because you had mentioned it in your session that there's a lot of reading involved, there's a lot of
Exactly. So
yeah,
RERA
so
online, there is a website of MahaRERA, or each like Gujarat RERA, Guj RERA is there,
Mhm.
MahaRERA is there. So you have to go to the local, website of your own state's act, and you will find
Right.
acts, rules, circulars, all the orders, even the judgments which are passed on day-to-day basis are being uploaded
Mhm.
on the website. So that is a material which is available to you. So you will have act, rules, notifications, circulars, orders, cause list. आपका हियरिंग कब है, वो कॉज लिस्ट भी अपलोड होता है.
Mhm.
Judgments are also getting uploaded, so that is sufficient. And then you, as I said, the YouTube videos, the blogs, the articles, these are the things which will give you the leverage, and that will give you additional knowledge, and you can easily take up and try to exploit your existing portfolio. Because I can see that a lot of CAs are having builder as the client portfolio, but they are just exploiting that portfolio for income tax or GST practice or audit.
Right. Right.
Ask your builders that, boss, your RERA work also I will handle. Your formation work also I will handle. So try to exploit your builder client portfolio. That way you can generate the RERA practice. And what was the first question?
It was about individuals or groups interested in forming a cooperative housing
Yeah, so
society.
as I said, they
Ensure
can,
they're in
yeah.
alignment
So
in
RERA
RERA
says
guidelines.
once 51% bookings are done, the builder, the promoter is supposed to form the legal entity. Right now, on MahaRERA website, you can do the project search. There is a
Mhm.
facility available. You can just put the name of the project, first 5 letters, and then the project will be listed, and you can see whatever documents are uploaded by the builder. It will give you how many flats are there, how many flats are booked, 1 BHK कितने हैं, उसमें से कितने book हैं, 2 BHK कितने book. So you will come to know that there are 51% booking is already being done. Right? So builder is supposed to float the society. Now people only wait for the possession. So you can go to RERA, you can form association first, which is association under the Charity Act, as I said. Because here you cannot form the society unless and until you people come together. Now just going through the website will not give you the contact numbers of the other. That is another challenge. So we are representing on that on RERA website we should be getting the numbers of the flat owners. But then they said it's a privacy. Because of the privacy, we should not, we are not in a position to give that. So if I have to become a group, or if we have to join as a group, I should have the contact numbers of the other allottees. right? So if I get to know, or if you have an informal group, WhatsApp group of your own people, allottees in that particular project, you can unite, you can form one temporary association under the Societies Registration Act, that is with the charity, and as an association you can approach RERA, and then you can ask RERA to give order that he should form the society or the legal entity which you want. So that's possible.
There's one last question, ma'am, asking you. Who can be the chief promoter while forming cooperative housing society?
Yeah, that I answered during the session. The chief promoter will be can be a builder only, or it can be any member from within the members. Like, let's say there are 100 units. So anyone from the 100 units can become a chief promoter with the approval of all the general members. So we need to show one general meeting on record that this is the general meeting, people gathered here and they appointed XYZ as chief promoter. So job of chief promoter is he will be signing on all the documents and he will be representing before the authority for the formation purpose.
Okay.
That
Ma'am,
will be
this
all, ma'am.
question
Thank
was
you so
from
much.
my end.
Yeah.
Ma'am, yeah.
Okay.
So my question here was, chief promoter is already appointed by a builder. So if members do not want that person to be a chief promoter, then what? Because it
No,
is
but
not
job
a
of
consent.
job of chief promoter is just, someone has to sign the documents
Okay.
to be
Okay.
submitted to the registrar. So someone,
Okay.
in fact, the person who is a chief promoter, his job is he will sign on all the documents, right? But tomorrow, even he has responsibilities that once the society is formed, he will have to hand over. So
Okay.
builder normally they play a trick. What they will do, they don't become the chief promoter. They will appoint someone from the member
Yes.
only to become a chief promoter. So if tomorrow there is any default on the compliances, it is the chief promoter who is responsible.
Okay.
Right? So it is
Okay.
better if builder has appointed,
Better if
let
he
that
is
person.
appointed.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over to you, Ashita, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you. No one who achieves success does so without acknowledging the help of the person who shares knowledge. I, on behalf of Women and Young Members Excellence Committee, take the pleasure to express our heartfelt gratitude. The way, ma'am, you have taken us to the topic is highly commendable. As rightly said by you, it was indeed exploring the unexplored. The knowledge and information shared by your good self will definitely prove beneficial for the professionals at large. Thank you very much for your valuable time you spent with our participants. Thank you
My
once
pleasure.
again.
My pleasure.
My sincere thanks to secretariats and the entire team, our tech team, for the technical arrangements. We as CAs will strive and continue to add more knowledge in our buckets for the time to come. But till then, I, CA Ashita Shah, sign off for the evening and wish you all a happy week. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Bye. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Good night.